and people started like really attacking me on the internet. Pakistan has to be in the bloody movie.
So recently, Sandeep, you've done some big shows. So well done to you. So you've performed with two legends, and I just wanted to ask you, okay,
All the
we're
history
gonna
books.
stop this here, guys, because I don't want to get cancelled.
You can't because this part is not going to air probably. Guy who owned the twin towers, he didn't miss a single day to get to work.
इजाद की माँ है.
अभी मैं काफी अच्छा खाना बनाता
Can you
हूँ.
name 3 things you can make good? मुझे इतनी मार पड़ी, इतने जूते पड़े.
You are saying kutta and all kind of stuff, and you're talking.
You know क्या हुआ कि पाकिस्तान claim कि हमने इंडिया के 6 plane गिरा दिए. 6-0. Assalamu alaikum everybody. Hope you guys are well. This is Salman Malik and welcome to my very first podcast. Today I have a very very special, very controversial guest from बहुत दूर से आए हैं. He's come from a country I can't pronounce. I'll let him do this himself. He is a comedian. He's an activist. He's also a Zionist worst nightmare. आप सबकी भरपूर तारीफ में please put your hands together for the one and the only Sandeep Bhardwaj. Hello
अरे
Sandeep.
भाई applause किधर है? कोई नहीं
क्या
है यहाँ
कैसा
पे.
like introduction कैसा था?
There's nobody here. Introduction was brilliant.
Of course. How are you, bro?
Well, I'm good, man. I'm good. By the way, I'm from Luxembourg. It's not that difficult to
Luck,
pronounce.
नहीं मैं पता नहीं क्यों I'm so like such a pendu. I'm like guys pendu, Google it. I'm like
Pendu?
Luxembourg. like
What is Pendu?
Pendu is like somebody from the village. गाँव.
Village. Okay.
Like yeah.
मैं इंडिया गया था. When I went to India and I met people there, they had never heard of Luxembourg, and I was telling them I'm from Luxembourg. They were like, Lakshmangad. Where is Lakshmangad? So I'm like, okay.
We are in a very nice part of London. It's called Croydon. So you're staying in Croydon with us. कैसा लग रहा है आपको Croydon?
Till 15 minutes ago, I was feeling pretty good until you told me that this is the stabbing capital of London. And I was like, God
So
damn.
yeah, I was just warning you. The first
Yeah.
first we get you here, and now.
Yeah, last night at midnight, I'm just walking around the streets like, oh, this looks pretty nice. Nobody told me about the stabbing.
So you're currently on a little mini tour with us. We're doing these shows called Arabs and Asians. So obviously when I came to see you, your lovely, amazing show. So how are you experienced, with the halal crowd these days with us? And
It's
last couple of days, yeah.
it's a strange mix of amazing stuff, and a lot of the times I'm just like, shit, what did I get myself into?
Okay.
So much of like, first of all, as you know, I'm not a Muslim,
It's
and
okay.
we have like a majority Muslim audience
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
And then we have people from all over Asia, all over the Arab world, and I'm just like, I feel a little bit outnumbered. That's what I was saying at the show as well, And the good side of it is how amazing the audience is.
Yeah.
Superb.
Yeah.
Like every single person. And then we are raising so much money
Yeah, this is it.
for the doctors in Gaza.
Yeah.
Amazing. So it's been an amazing experience so far.
Thank you, bro. I'll get you
Thanks for organizing it.
extra coffee. So, I just want to start with, I'm sure you've answered this before, but who is Sandeep? Like a boy in India, like you mentioned, how did you end up in Luxembourg, जो भी नाम है? How did you end up there? Like, लोग जाते हैं, France जाते हैं, people go to Canada, Dubai, United Kingdom. Nobody comes here, go away if you are here. So, how did you get stuck in this country nobody's heard of?
Luxembourg. Yeah, it was because of my wife.
Oh, acha. You want to blame her for that? Yeah?
Blame. Love.
Huh.
So when we got married, it was like, yeah, let's move to a different country, not India. And she's actually from Poland.
Okay.
Now we are separated.
So you married her for the visa?
I married her. I could not have married her for the Polish visa. Who the fuck wants a Polish visa? What? So
यहाँ पे in the UK, a lot of my cousin like Pakistani, वो क्या था कि about 10-15 years ago, you can 50-50 marriage, thoda love, thoda paisa.
Achha.
And then if you marry like somebody from Poland or Lithuania, आपका UK का process easy हो जाता था.
Achha.
So it was the thing.
When we got married, Poland was not even part of the Schengen area.
Okay.
So I was already taking quite a big chance. I had watched Dil Chahta Hai, dekha hai?
Yeah, of course.
Dil Chahta Hai. So Saif Ali Khan gets attacked by a white woman in Goa.
She ties him up.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to do. I was in Goa. That's where I met her.
Okay. But
But it turned out okay.
So guys, if you're watching, Bollywood films, sometimes can have a positive effect on your life.
Uh-huh.
And look at him now, mashallah, chilling in Croydon after
I
all.
don't know if it's positive or negative.
Sandeep, a lot of people who know you, who follow you, and appreciate your work, is you have this special something against the Zionists. I don't know what it is, lekin both sare Zionists, when they hear Sandeep, they go like, oh, this, that, and the other. So why do you think that is?
Because I just like to ask questions. I'm like a child, like how your kids are. You tell them.
He's very cheeky, very clever, but clever child.
You tell them where, go put this stuff away there. They'll be like, why? And then you get angry, right? That's what I do. I ask questions. I'm like, why? And then they're like, whoa. They just get angry. But let's go back to the beginning. I never had anything against Zionists until a couple of years ago. I didn't even know the term Zionist. Kisko pata tha yaar? Nobody knew about this stuff.
Even I go look back at some of my posts from a long time ago. No idea.
I was like, Zion, this is something that I heard somewhere in some movie.
Yeah.
I was like, nobody knows about this stuff until they just go and start killing people.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay. And then you start asking questions and then they get angry. People only get angry when they don't have good answers to something. Yeah.
True. And I think what makes you stand out, ke you're not Muslim. Normally kya hota hai ke, they have think, he's Muslim, he's saying it, or he's from one of those Islamic countries.
Yeah.
The fact that you're not Muslim and you're from India. So do you get backlash from Indian people sometimes, or people say, he's a comedian? Like kya hota hai ke I'm a comedian. Mera to username mein bhi comedian likha hai. So if I comment something, are we gonna take a comedian seriously? As if comedians or us people don't have a point of view, and why,
Yeah,
do you get that?
Of course. First of all, when I started doing all this stuff, people from India were like, oh, you're supporting Muslim people. I was like, nahi yaar, the children are dying everywhere, and I'm just talking about what's happening right now. And people started like really attacking me on the internet, and then I started like roasting them back, and then everything kind of calmed down. But there was a lot of backlash from India. But I think it's turned around now.
Social media pe, people are generally, artists are very mindful ke what to put out there, ke hum cancel na ho jaye. I'm sure we have a fair share of cancellations. So did you not think, if you're going to speak about these, I won't say taboo, but these controversial topics, you might not get work, you didn't worry about all of that?
So, you only need to worry about cancellations when you're famous.
Fair enough.
So when you're not famous, you're like, what's the worst that can happen? Oh, I won't get to do a show in the Comedy Store in London. I was not doing any shows there anyway.
And then you did.
Then I did, exactly.
This is amazing. I think.
What about you? Like you, obviously, from your point of view, being Muslim, Pakistani, and you are very vocal about this stuff as well. And you actually also, you do it from a point of view where people in India and Pakistan understand you.
Yeah.
Because you use Hindi and Urdu.
Yeah.
And I use just English. So when I make my videos are being watched all around the world.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like mixed audiences. You are saying kutta, chutia, and all kind of stuff, and you're talking.
I think obviously, when the genocide started, and obviously it was upsetting for all of us. I had no connections with Palestine. I had no idea, just like most people.
Yeah.
But hame laga ke, especially me, and I never used to, we used to make a little funny dancing or, hey, come to my show kind of stuff. But I just thought, like when you wake up in the morning, and especially with your algorithm, especially, and you see those videos, those videos when they used to come out on a daily basis for a very long time. And you're like, as artists, what can we do? So first thing I did is I actually joined hand with a few charities. I was already working in the charity sector. So just in September of 2023, I started working in a charity sector, a charity called Forgotten Women, who was already doing stuff within Palestine. Not only ke I was getting information online, ke kya ho raha hai, I was already finding out information ke charities, how much they're struggling just to get aid in. So I was getting information. So my whole life, basically my job, everything is around how are we sending aid to Palestine,
Amazing.
How are we helping them, how our trucks are filled, how the trucks are stuck at Rafah border for such a long time. 90% of the comedy shows we did, we made sure we fundraised for Palestine. And I don't want to show off, but alhamdulillah, in the last 2 years, I've raised over 1.5 million. You
That's
know,
amazing.
yeah. Including some events I have organized and I've been part of. And the events I've organized is one around 800,000 last year. You know, when people do charity, and charity is maybe a big part of our faith as well, you know, usse kya hua hai ki everything is just got better. Like,
Isn't
yes,
it crazy that comedians are able to raise this kind of money for a good cause?
I think what happens is like for people like maybe myself or yourself, कि, you know, जब लोग हमें देखते हैं, they can see कि we're coming from the right place. People just want to hear stuff. People want to hear you. आपकी videos में भी, you know, there's a bit of light humor, there's a lot of sarcasm. When I was working in the charity sector, when I was doing these shows, so I thought, you know, maybe I can express what I feel like, and I don't just speak about Palestine. I also speak about what happens in Pakistan. I also speak about what happens in India, you know, because like you say in your shows, ke Pakistanis are the villain of every Indian movie. So, you know, I'm a big Bollywood fan. It's so disappointing, like, you know, for me especially, ke, you know, now it's so polarized कि हर फिल्म में हमें ऐसे दिखाया जाता है.
Easily. That's why I do those jokes, because almost all of my material is supposed to reflect on what's happening in reality. This is the reality in India. Every movie, when you want to make it a big hit, like a big blockbuster, Pakistan has to be in the bloody movie, you know.
The funny thing is that India and Pakistan went on a war
Yeah.
6 months ago. ठीक है? I know we were in touch a little bit. Like, hi, क्या हो रहा है ये? So it started on a Monday, as I say. It finished on a Friday.
Yeah.
Because literally Saturday, Sunday is cricket days. तो हो क्या रहा है कि इंडिया में चल रही है IPL सेम डेज, पाकिस्तान में चल रही थी PSL सेम डेज, पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट सुपर लीग.
Oh, I didn't even know about this.
So and then क्या हुआ कि पाकिस्तान में वॉर है, इंडिया में वॉर है, and those Gora players who were playing in India and Pakistan started shitting themselves because Pakistan and India go on a war and they are stuck in this country. Now कभी भी किसी country में war होती है तो you know if you're Australian, English, उनको they get special emails कि come on leave the country ASAP. But they also have contracts to play.
Of course.
So some players left and they stayed in Dubai. They didn't go back to Australia. They're waiting in Dubai. And they were like, हाँ तुम लोग अपना अपना खत्म कर लो, just sort it out. You know, जब दो भाई आपस में लड़ते हैं. So that's what happened. And then literally a week later, both the cricket leagues resumed.
So it was just a small break. It's like, hey guys, can we stop playing so we can go and have a war and then come back to cricket?
And then after that, Pakistan, you know क्या हुआ कि Pakistan claimed कि हमने इंडिया के 6 plane गिरा दिए, you know, 6-0. This is what claimed, and some international media reported as well कि वो हो गया. And then when you ask the Indian generals कि that's what they're saying, they didn't say yes, they didn't say no. So ये war में ऐसी चीजें होती रहती हैं. So for Pakistan, who is always on the receiving end, you know कि हम 71 में हारे, 65 में हारे, cricket में हारे. So for us, like for the last 1 year, Pakistanis are like, you know, yes, this is a honeymoon period for us. के wow, we are winning.
Okay.
Economy is going down. पूरे मुल्क का सत्यानाश, unemployment all over the place.
But we beat India.
I sacrificed my whole life for Pakistan.
Oh shit! I didn't even follow it so much. I didn't even know it lasted 5 days. I just knew that there was
around that time, yeah,
okay.
about a week, you know.
Kyunki I was so engrossed in what was happening in Gaza, and people are writing to me, hey, why are you talking about Gaza? Talk about India and Pakistan, your own country. I was like, I don't give a shit. They have 2 armies. They'll fight. It's like extracurricular activity.
It's not the same because, you know, the way BBC and other news outlets put war in Gaza. It was never a war. It was an army against nihatte, you know, armless people.
No, but so do you then get backlash from India?
So I have a good following people from India. I have a lot of friends. I have Indian comedian friends. Some of them actually got upset because of the whole Palestine cause. मैं already एक warmed up था. Like, you know, I was speaking about political things, and I follow more Indian politics in Pakistan because I find it really funny and hilarious, you know.
Of course.
And when the whole war thing happened, I made some videos. लोगों को लगा कि I'm gone anti-India. Now this is the thing, you know. I never went out कि India as a country or the people of India. Well, if you have, for example, somebody like Trump governing your country, I'm just anti-Trump because he's a dickhead. Lekin that doesn't mean I'm against the common American people.
Yeah, unless they're Americans who are supporting Trump.
Yeah, exactly. So Modi is not India. India is a beautiful country with some amazing, lovely people. You know, there are good and bad people everywhere.
This is. I think it's one of the biggest problems right now of criticizing.
We need to differentiate between the two. अगर कोई बंदा आपको run कर रहा है, that doesn't mean he's the thing. And as controversial as may sound, they might even be 1%, but I'm sure there are some good people in Israel who do not want the war and who want, you see the people
There
protesting and
are.
everything. So we can't put everything. When people say, oh, all Israelis, we cannot put everybody
Yeah,
in
but
the same
it's
boat.
if at least 70% of them are doing it, I think you can kind of generalize at
You
least
can,
in
you can say in a matter speech, but you can also have some hopes. कि यार
Of
कुछ लोग
course.
वहाँ पे हैं. Some people, there are people out there who have a bit of a heart and they feel for it. We don't get to see them on media because media doesn't want
No,
to show
I got
you.
to meet them personally, which
Oh,
was
you did?
amazing.
Acha,
Yeah, I went
yes,
to
tell us.
Amman. I went to Jordan, and I did a bunch of shows there in
Yes.
Amman. And people came from the West Bank, from Jerusalem, Bethlehem, and people
Look
came
at
to
this
visit.
guy.
And a lot of them Palestinians, but a lot of them were Jewish Israeli people.
Wow.
And I was very surprised because
Yeah.
they came all the way. Of course, it took them an hour to get there, and the Palestinians took 5 hours to get across the
Ah.
borders. But they all came, and then they spoke to me saying there are people in Israel, Jewish people, who actually don't want this genocide. They don't want what Netanyahu is doing. So it was nice to actually go and meet people there. There are good people on that side as well.
So recently, Sandeep, you've done some big shows. So well done to you. So you've performed with two legends, and I just wanted to ask you, how was your experience with them individually? So I'm going to start with Russell Peters. I know his brother always reposts your videos, and because I follow Russell, वो algorithm ऐसा है ना कि if I see any of your video liked by Russell Peters, I'm like FML. So Russell Peters is one of the reasons I started comedy long
Same.
time ago.
Yeah.
His DVD Outsource came out.
course.
Outsource वो 2006-2007 में, and Russell.
This is what it was like, oh, there's an Indian guy from Canada who's doing this amazing stuff.
And then when you were performing,
The best thing was I asked him, like, can I joke about Palestine? He's like, absolutely. He and his brother, both of them were like, of course, yeah, do whatever you want, man, on stage. So then I went and did my stuff. It was amazing. Nice to. I went and did 2 shows with them. Just a great time.
it's also how you see your juniors, and then giving opportunities to other people out there. And that brings, I think, a lot of good to you.
Yeah.
So I think well done, Russell, if you're watching and if you need a comedian with an accent, 079 me.
079 क्या है?
UK के number 079 से शुरू होता
अच्छा.
है.
That was 044.
नहीं वो area code है. Oh yeah, but if he's in the UK ना मतलब.
अच्छा, if he's
Yeah.
already-
I've got British passport too. I can travel. We need to go. He needs to invite us to Canada. We need to go to Canada.
Yeah. I've been trying to figure that out one day.
Chalo.
I'll go soon.
And the next one is Basim Youssef. You did something with Basim?
Yeah. The first time I got in touch with Basim was when he was touring a year or 2 ago, Antwerp में था.
Okay.
So I sent him a message saying, "Hey, I'd like to open for you. I've been following this
Achha,
stuff."
this is
This
the
is
time
the other
you
way.
contacted him.
I contacted him,
Okay.
and
Does he check his inbox?
he checked. And
Is it? Oh, I've never.
no, on Instagram
Oh, फिर भी यार
message.
मतलब-
So by some luck, he checked his messages. He's like, "Oh, this is such a big lucky thing because I was looking for a comedian, and I'll put you in touch with my team." And they reached out to me and they said, "Yeah, come to Antwerp." I went and opened for him.
Amazing.
It was really good.
Was it English language show? Was it?
English, yeah.
Because we have another comedian called Omar Badawi who is on our tour. He's
Okay.
also opened for him in London a couple of times.
Okay.
Nice. Acha, phir?
Then I was in Amman.
Oh yes, so you're
Yeah.
in Jordan.
I'm in Jordan, and
I know there's something happened in Jordan. Are you gonna tell us that after this or not?
yeah, I'll tell you what happened.
Okay.
Yes, lots of stuff happened. So I was 2 days before I got to 2 or 3 days before getting to Jordan. Bassem wrote to me, going
Yeah.
like, "Hey, I saw that you're there. It'll be nice if we can do the shows together."
So you went to Jordan for your own show.
my own shows. Yeah.
Okay, and Basim also happened to be there.
I was doing my shows on the 21st and 22nd, and his shows were on the 23rd and 24th. 2
क्या
days.
बात है,
Yeah,
क्या बात
exactly.
Otherwise, you would have. Anyway,
I was supposed to be in Cyprus on those days.
Chalo.
And then, he said, "Hey, I'll come and open for you." And I was like, I opened for him 1 year ago. And then now he's like, "Hey, I'll come and open for you. I'll introduce you on stage. Then you can come to my show and you can open for me." And
Wow,
stuff.
that's some amazing humbleness. Acha.
I was like, okay, this is so good. I'll do it. I'll stay for 2 days extra in Jordan and do this stuff. And yeah, I went there. I did my 2 shows. They were amazing. Like a really cool, like the oldest theater in Amman or something.
When people think about the Middle East, especially like countries like Amman or Egypt or
Yeah.
even Lebanon, for example, लोगों को लगता है कि वहाँ पे बहुत ही ultra religious लोग होंगे. Will they understand comedy? Will they laugh? So how did you find the people there and the crowd?
Amazing. So the most hospitable people in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
I was there and they treated me like a king.
Wow.
Like I was there for 5 days.
Like little Indian king, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Lion King. Acha.
Yeah. Like from the time I landed, like there was a guy who was following me on Instagram for a long time. I didn't know who he was. Like people are just following me,
Yeah.
And he goes like, "Hey, I'm flying over from Dubai to come and see your show in Amman."
Nice.
I was like,
Wow.
"Oh, okay." And he's like, "Let me take you out for dinner."
A guy coming from Dubai to take you out for dinner.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was like-
I don't know where this story is going, but okay, carry on.
Didn't know either. And then the people who organized my show in Amman, they're like some big hotel group and stuff,
Oh, wow. Okay.
So the first thing, we land in Amman. I took my friend with me,
Okay.
and before we get to our hotel, they're like, "You gotta go and meet the CEO of the hotel group first."
As you do, you know.
Of
yeah.
course. So I'm like, just carrying our bags and stuff. I'm like, "Oh shit, okay, let's do this." You ain't going, and again, the nicest people,
Mm.
just brilliant. I'll tell you a bunch of stuff offline.
Habibi.
No, just great people, and the person who was the CEO of the hotel group also produced the movie Palestine 36. Have you
Oh,
heard of the
amazing. I've been hearing great things about this.
Yeah, so they just showed us like the trailer of the movie, and we're like just
Wow.
blown away. That was just great, and I was telling them, "Hey, I'm there's a guy from Dubai coming over, and he's gonna take me out for dinner." They were all like,
Habibi.
Do you know this guy? What is this?"
Yeah.
At the same time, the guy from Dubai was like, "Do you know these people who are organizing a show here? Like, be careful." Everybody was like, "Be careful about everybody else."
I'll be more careful about the Dubai guy. Anyways, go on then.
But yeah, so I was like, okay. They're like, "Give us his name." I was like, "I don't know his actual name. I only know his handle."
What was the handle? Habibi come to Dubai? Or Shisha King 2007?
No, I'm gonna kill you.
Sure.
No, I don't remember. The time before, just a few minutes before going out with this guy, they're like, "Give us his car number, something. Where are you gonna go?
Yeah, they were.
So we can find you if something happens."
Of course.
And this guy shows up, and he's the ex-CEO of Arab Bank. Okay, big deal guy. He shows up in a car like a taxi driver, and he goes like, "Taxi for Sandeep." And I was like, yeah, that's me. And then he gets out and he's like, "Yeah, it's me."
Oh,
Ahmed,"
wow. Okay, wow. He's trying to be funny with you.
Yeah,
Okay,
trying
cool.
to be funny, of course.
Yeah,
He's-
when you get shows, some people just try and do their joke, and you're like, "Nah, bro, stick to your day job." All right.
then he just took us to like the fanciest restaurant
Whoa.
in Amman.
Bougie, yeah.
Unbelievable. Like, I'll show you the pictures later. Just a table for like 25 dishes or some shit. Like, there were 5 of us, and we just had the best food ever. And that was a great experience. And then I did my 2 shows.
Okay.
Like I said, people came from the West Bank, from Jerusalem, Bethlehem, from all
They could
over.
just drive in, though? They had to fly in.
They had to drive in.
Okay.
Where they
So they went through those checkpoints.
they went
and
through the
all of that.
checkpoints and everything. Yeah.
So, it's such a shame that some people are, privileged enough to come to these shows.
Yeah.
You're allowing them to leave the country and enjoy themselves or whatever it is. But when it comes to feeding people, you want to have a control over.
Yeah.
I know, sorry, I'm taking it to a very serious
Of course, no.
But it's not that barbaric. They're allowing them to leave, for example, from West Bank sector. I know, I mean, still with a lot of restriction and a lot of
a lot yeah.
checkpoints and everything, but you cannot allow basic necessities like baby nappies,
No.
formula milk, food. These are the things, and you know how expensive some of these baby nappy box or formula, sometimes as much as $100 for one of those. So imagine those people living in those conditions right now in this winter. वो कैसे manage करते होंगे? So that's why, and this is what I'm saying to everybody. No matter which charity, if you have a charity in your local area who's doing some great work, whether it's in Palestine or in Sudan or some of other places, just try and donate, try and do your bit. Sorry, Sandeep.
No,
Thoda main-
absolutely. Let's talk
you know.
about that actually,
Go on then.
It's difficult to do charity shows back in Europe, in continental Europe. We don't
Okay.
have, I think, the kind of ecosystem that you have here for charities.
Yeah.
We don't have that in like It's very scattered, like one or two places. They don't have this culture of like donating so much of money that
Yeah.
that you guys do over here.
I'll tell you something happened, right? So I'm doing comedy shows and everything, right?
Yeah.
And this is going great. We do a comedy show every few months, or we do a little tour, and we would raise money, and that's it. तो हुआ क्या कि last year summer, somebody recommended me कि they did a children's walk for Palestine. So it's not a march because we do have our annual, weekly or monthly marches
Yes.
here, and I think there's one coming up this
Mhm.
weekend, and people will get involved. Sometimes they'll take their kids, but they're not usually for kids because anything can happen. People can get arrested because they say, "Okay, I support some sort of action." You know what I'm talking about, right? And so that's so controversial. Okay, we need to.
You can't say what kind of action.
You know how it's like. You know the action, right? And no, I've got kids to feed. That's why So I want to stay here, and you could be an 80-year-old blind fellow on a
Yeah.
wheelchair,
Mm-hmm.
but if you say, "Okay, I support action,"
Mm-hmm.
I support action, you will be arrested. So this is the sad affairs. Anyhow, connecting to the children's walk, तो मुझे लगा कि यार एक children walk कर लेते हैं. We'll do a free walk around the park.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. I went online.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered some वो सस्ते से medals
Mm-hmm.
and got some certificates printed for the charity, and we advertised. We had like 40-50 kids turn up,
Mm-hmm.
and we made everybody like a GoFundMe type pages, and we raised about £5,000, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is good. This is what we did in Croydon. So it started from the holy land of Croydon. Then I said, अच्छा Croydon हो गया, let's go to Ilford, East London.
Yeah.
We're performing there tomorrow. तो वहाँ पे भी organize. फिर मैंने कहा मैं Harrow चलते हैं. Let's go to Manchester. Let's go to Birmingham. And just that concept. So one walk we did in Cardiff.
Yeah.
130, 140 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them non-Muslim, Welsh kid. Or I was going to say English, like white Welsh kids.
Mm-hmm.
And we raised £43,000 with 250 people for one day. And that's not £43,000 they're going to pay in a monthly, banked already.
Wow.
And then that concept itself helped me raise around 600 to 700,000 last year and counting.
Unbelievable.
And I had one of those walks, when we did our Birmingham show last week.
Yeah.
तो वो करने से पहले when I lost my voice,
Mm-hmm.
we had that walk in Birmingham, and then we did the comedy.
Unbelievable.
So what made it really special? I'm gonna share some of the clips as well. What
Yeah.
made it really special? Okay, there were kids there. Some people may say, "Oh, so you're brainwashing the little ones." It was very simple, family-friendly stuff. We're not talking about. We just simply spoke to them, the kids, about okay, what are their thoughts, and the kids were like, "I want the children in Palestine to have what I have. We want them to have basic things like food. We want them to go to school. We want them to have a prosperous, like a healthy life." And that's what the kids wanted. Because आजकल के बच्चे are much smarter than what we were when we were kids. They have access to phones, tablets. They can exactly see in HD what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there are other millions of kids across the world. So it was so nice to connect with the kids, and I would do little jokes with them, say, yeah, so we're all the skibbity kids. You got to know the language, innit? So all the skibbity kids, assassino, cappuccino, they have this whole brain rot bakwas, and parents love that. And I would always do this morning walks, right? And half the kids didn't have breakfast. So I would embarrass all the parents. Now, why don't you feed your kids and all of that? So it was just so much fun having a bit of banter, a bit of comedy with the kids.
Yeah.
But also we were chanting Free Palestine, and and then at the end of the day, we were just raising so much money.
Yeah. Thinking about it from the kids' point of view takes me back to the point of like they look at the world in a very objective way.
Yeah.
Kids.
Yeah.
They will, if you tell them some crazy shit, they'll ask you, why? What's this?
Yeah.
That's why they are looking at what's happening in Palestine right now. And 3,500 years? What? Promised? What the fuck is all this shit? They go like, talk sense. None of this stuff makes any sense
My
to
little
kids.
one is 6, and he goes, "Daddy, why can't we go to India?" Like, how can I explain to him? Okay, why? So he would hear something. He says,
Yeah.
"Oh, have you been to India?" Because he knows Pakistan, India. They
Yeah.
hear kids, "Ghar pe kuch na kuch." So I say, "Oh, is this watching movie? Daddy, is this India?"
Yeah.
Yes, India. Watching. Have you been there? No, I can't go. I mean, why can't you go to India? अब हमको हम क्या समझाएं?
Mhm.
But बच्चे pick up करते हैं, they see these things, they hear
Exactly,
these things, whether it's in a film or on social media.
Which is why Israel is spending so much money on social media now. They want to
True.
make sure that the kids hear,
TikTok is theirs now.
yeah, it's theirs.
So, bro, be mindful, be clear, what's her name? What's her legend from Bissam?
Yeah.
She's lost her TikTok
Account,
recently,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And what do you think of Abissam? You've been following her journey as well.
Yeah, one of the first few people that I started following a long time ago. You know, people that I looked at for first-hand information of what was going on in
Yeah.
Palestine. So yeah, it's pretty sick what Israelis are doing right now, and Americans with TikTok and everything. But I think there is hope.
Yeah.
You know, people, you get to see new social media platforms coming up, like
Yeah.
Upscrolled.
Yeah.
It's growing very quickly right now.
So, you know, you do a lot of these live shows, coming back to your stand-up comedy. You could, in the last 2 years or before that, what's like some of the strange heckling you got from people in the audience? You had somebody who, actually, hang on, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to try and remind you. So I was at one of your London shows at the Comedy Store
Yeah.
3 weeks ago. And during halfway, I like that, you know, so usually what happens is a lot of these comedy stars, you know, he's a superstar in his own way. So kya hota hai ki they normally come at the end, they'll do a little thing, they might take a picture too. But I think what I really liked is that during the break, you came out and, you know, because people came to see you, and it's nice to see they see real you. Because obviously when they see us on stage, it's
Mhm.
fine. But off stage, you're taking pictures and everything.
Yeah.
But around that time, so this is halfway through a show. Second half of the show was going to be about Palestine, and you go in depth.
Yeah, the first
But
half was just banter shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But somebody asked for a refund.
Yeah.
Please tell us about that.
Well, see, 100% of the people who come to my show, they know what they're coming for. They know, Sandeep, he's going to talk shit about Israel. He's pro-Palestine.
Of course.
He's going to, do all the jokes that he does on the internet. So they
Yeah.
all know exactly what they're coming to my show for and to see me.
Of course.
This guy walked off the street. He's like, let me see. There's a comedy show going on. That's what he said. He said, I walked off the street. I think that he came to make
You
trouble.
describe the guy? Was he like Gora, like English?
Jewish guy.
Okay.
I think that's his.
That's what he said, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he just came in, and I just made one or two mentions about Israel. In the
I was
first
at
half.
the show, not much. You didn't
Just
do
one
much.
or two mentions saying that, hey, in the second half I'm going to talk shit. And this guy was like, I want my money back. I don't like it. I don't.
So he
find
said
it
that
funny."
to the staff.
Yeah, he said that to the staff. Yeah.
Okay.
Then the staff called me over and they said this guy wants his money back.
Whilst you were in the show,
No, in the middle at the break.
they couldn't wait till the end of the show.
No,
was
they
it?
couldn't because this guy had to go, right? And being probably Israeli or Zionist, this guy's like,
I need my.
my money back. So normally I was like, I don't give a shit. I was like, yeah, I'll give you your money back because he had paid in cash because he walked off the street. He hadn't bought it online.
Fair enough.
So I still had the cash in my pocket and I gave it back to him. And I gave it back to him and he goes like, fuck you. I was like, bro, you got your money back? This is what you wanted. I gave it back to you.
Don't you think, I'm sure you get a lot of hate mails and comments. I'm going to come to that in a minute. So I think it kind of really, वो कहते हैं आपको अंदर से बड़ा strong कर देते हैं. क्योंकि maybe 5 years ago, if somebody came to your show and said to you, fuck you, Sandeep, or maybe to me, I would take it to the heart. Like there was time. अभी हमने बहुत एकदम ना वो हम हो गए ना वो अंदर से बगैरत हो गए.
No, but also
stiff हो गए.
just think about it. There are 350 people who absolutely love me. They're there for me.
True.
I'm like, I don't give a shit what this
True,
guy thinks.
100%.
And I know that pro-Israelis, Zionists, they hate me. I don't give a shit. And I'm like, yeah, I hate you too.
So this guy, this Israeli guy, watched half of your show
Yeah.
and got his money back. Wow.
These guys, they know how to do that stuff. They know how to get their money back. Exactly. There was the second London show that I had done, like I think 7 or 8 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple of Zionists who came to see my show. They came
Okay.
to record, and
They were recording?
They were recording and all kinds of shit. And yeah, it was a weird experience because I was waiting for that. I was hoping for some
So how did you
Zionists.
know? Did they make it obvious? They had a little Mossad, little M at the back of their phone.
They were wearing the dog tags of the IDF.
Is it?
Yeah. So these guys are famous in London. Everybody in the audience knew them.
No way.
Before the show and during the break, they came and told me, hey, there are some Zionists who are sitting in the audience.
Okay, anybody's welcome. You know,
Yeah,
why not?
absolutely. And I was hoping for something like this to happen. I was like, oh, it'll be nice. There'll be a Zionist who will talk to me. I am pretty good at arguing with people. And I was like, oh, it could be a funny Instagram moment,
Thank you.
that we'll do this. Yeah. But these guys started talking, at the end when I do a Q&A, one of the Zionists stood up and everybody's like,
Oh, yeah, you do a
"Ah."
Q&A. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
okay.
Of course. So then everybody in the audience was like, he's a Zionist. I was like, okay, calm down.
Wow, you had your own little Palestine versus Zionist in the show.
It wasn't a big competition because there were 398 pro-Palestinians and 2 Zionist people, in the audience. In the last 2 years, what has happened is the whole world has discovered how much Israel has been lying
True.
about everything. Pathological liars. They lie about every single thing. Where you can easily find out that they're lying. Hey,
Yeah.
look, you said this, and then you said this. It's a lie.
There's a clip. Can you believe there's a clip going around last week from 6 years ago,
Yeah.
where Netanyahu is like presenting something in America, and he's like, "Oh, well, what about Greenland?"
Yeah. I saw
And
that.
then everybody's like, huh? Greenland?
Yeah.
So everything is already in the planning.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
this is the thing is that everybody now knows that they have been lying about everything in the past. So they've
Yeah.
seen these videos where he instigated the Iraq invasion,
Yeah.
Afghan,
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
Libya, and he was like, there will be positive reverberations across the world, across Middle
Yeah.
East and stuff. And he's like, Israel instigated America to get into all these wars all over the world.
Yeah.
And we look back and we think, oh shit, all the stuff that they
Yeah.
said in the last 30 years were lies.
Yeah.
And then you go like, what about before 30 years?
Yeah.
Like, what about the First World War, the Second World War?
Yeah.
Nobody had social media.
No.
So the only thing you were relying on was
You know-
the newspapers and the mainstream media, which was probably already bought by them.
Yeah, we speak about Islamophobia because obviously as Muslims, maybe I might have not faced as much because we live here in a very multicultural London. But it's a big thing, especially a lot of our sisters, the head sisters with hijab, etc. They really, even here now, because there's a very big anti-Muslim or Islamophobic sentiment going in Europe as well as in the UK especially. So what happens is they connect us with things that may have happened in the past. पहले क्या होता था कि for example, I think a lot of the Islamophobia probably started post 9/11. And 9/11 was one of those things where we always we knew kind of, we as in me and some people, they were like, these are the people who are conspiracy theories. There's a term for us, conspiracy, kuch bhi hua. If you question it, or you would question things like moon landing or whatever, you're the conspiracy theories. But now, like you said, if you connect the dots, who got the most benefit from 9/11?
Absolutely, that's the whole point. Yeah. So this guy who owned the Twin Towers, he didn't miss a single day to get to work.
ये हम
and-
बचपन से सुनते आ रहे हैं.
Huh. That day he was off.
That day is
Like, oh, sorry, I had to go for a doctor's checkup. For what? Something.
And then the guys and the like in some of the the Indian Modi narratives, they found the passport very nice and clean. Yes, here's the passport. So I'm gonna connect it to this thing. So as funny as it sounds, so when India Pakistan went to war together recently, though there was a very unfortunate attack in Kashmir.
Pahalgam.
Pahalgam. That part of Kashmir is a tourist attraction. That part, where it's heavily guarded, over 100,000 Indian soldiers. But for 25 minutes, koi nahi aaya wahan pe. And then it took the Indian forces, I think, good 2 to 3 weeks to figure out who these guys were. Obviously, they were going to be Muslims. Obviously, they were going to be Pakistani. But you know how they found out who they were? Through chocolate wrappers.
Okay.
वो लोग ने chocolate खाया,
Uh-huh.
उसके wrapper पे made in Pakistan लिखा था. So
That is
that's
irrefutable proof.
yeah.
Yeah.
तो I just wanted to say to anybody कि अगर आप कुछ ऐसा सोच रहे हो, first of all, don't do it. But chocolate क्यों खा रहे हो?
ऊपर से अगर chocolate खाना है तो eat some good Swiss chocolates or something.
So coming to your point, कि before social media, they will tell us कि a bunch of Arabs or Afghans came from Afghanistan. उन्होंने एक plane लिया, उसको चलाया और precision लेके ना ये गए और ये और वो building जो कि मतलब टाइटेनियम से बनी building है, वो ऐसे आई कि जाती हूँ मैं, जल्दी है क्या?
You have these amazing references in your comedy as well from Bollywood.
Yeah, it's just me, my life.
It's crazy, like, and people love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then 2 miles later, 2 miles further away from that building is a building 7. वो ऐसे ही के मतलब.
That was like again like a Bollywood movie, like watching these 2 towers, like that one just collapsed out of shock. So that's why it's very interesting. You look back at all the events in history and you go like, was any of this?
No, true. And can I? Is there an issue with extremism in Islam. No Islam with this, in some Muslims, of course they are. हम नहीं बोल रहे कि सारे जो टेररिस्ट अटैक हैं वो ज़ायनिस्ट करवा रहे, नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. Surely there are problems. हम ये नहीं कह रहे कि सब लोग दूध के धुले हैं, but it's a bit unfortunate कि it's very easy to figure out now. Mainstream media जिस मुद्दे के पीछे पड़ जाए, कि दाल में कुछ काला नहीं है, पूरी दाल ही काली है.
Yeah.
The whole lentil is black. It's not a racist joke.
It does not translate at all.
If you're Asian, you know what I'm talking about. What I really like about you, okay, I have this comfort level where I can speak to you in Hindi/Urdu. So did you learn, your parents, growing up, let's speak about your growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, where did you grow up exactly?
I grew up in South India.
South India?
South India. So my parents were from North. I grew up in the South.
Bhardwaj, right? Because
Bhardwaj.
I know, see, the only way I can say your name, because Vishal Bhardwaj, is a Bollywood, again, director. So I've grown up watching his films, so I can say it. Otherwise, do people murder your surname?
Absolutely.
Kaise?
Genocide. They are like, they call me
Badgeway.
Broadway.
Sandeep Bhardwaj. That
Bhardwaj.
is a good name.
Yeah. मेरी वाइफ को लेटर आया पोस्ट से, उसमें लिखा है मिसेस एना हार्डवे.
मतलब कितने निकम्मे लोगों को रखा हुआ है ना. अच्छा.
They don't know how to, it's a normal name, Bhardwaj. Just read it as it is written, Bhardwaj.
So you grew
Doesn't
up.
matter. I grew up in South India.
Which part?
Andhra Pradesh.
Andhra Pradesh. For those who don't know, it's they speak Telugu there. Yeah?
They speak Telugu and kind of Hindi. Hyderabadi.
So you were born in the land of biryani.
I grew up with biryani. Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So that's one of my favorite
which
things
city?
in the
Which
world.
city was it? What's the city called?
Visakhapatnam.
Visakhapatnam. I know the cricket hota wahan pe,
Visakhapatnam.
Yeah, it's like, I remember Ravi Shastri. Hello guys, and live from Visakhapatnam.
Oh yeah, we used to have a pretty good cricket stadium.
Okay, so you grew up in Visakhapatnam. You went to school there, as you do.
Yes.
And parents, everybody, family, all in South. Yeah?
All in the South, yeah.
Lovely. How were you as a child?
I was very introverted. I still am very introverted. So when I go to do comedy shows, I try to be extroverted.
But were you funny in the family? Like, कभी family function में कोई joke मार दिया, कोई कुछ?
बिल्कुल नहीं. I was not funny at home. Some people say I'm not funny now, but
यार रसल पीटर इनका fan है, और क्या चाहिए आपको?
No, I was very quiet and just kept to myself. I was also like, I grew up with a disability, I had polio, so just
Was
kind
that,
of.
you had it from birth at a certain
2
age?
years. I was 2 years old when I got polio.
And क्या होता है कि जब तक if you don't have a certain disability or you don't have, like I have a family member who's on wheelchair, तो when you come in West, यहाँ पे वो हिंदी में कहते हैं कि बहुत सारी सुविधाएं, there's a lot of facilities, a lot of mindfulness for people with disabilities, especially wheelchair users, या कोई भी, like somebody's got even, लेकिन back home, for example, in Pakistan or in India, itna, like it's very difficult for those people. I don't know how they survive. So what do you think?
Yeah, it's crazy. In places like India and stuff, they even make you feel like it's your fault.
Yeah.
That you're disabled. The value of human life is lower because there's just like, we have 1 billion,
Yeah.
And
that's true. Yeah, हमारे कभी होता है ना कि खुदा ना खास्ता कोई बस गिर गई 10 लोग इधर मर गए, तो वो इन अदर न्यूज़ 10 लोग मर गए. यहाँ पे यूके में, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, कनाडा में एक इनके सिटीजन को खरोश आ जाए, तो it's the same human life, but it's just different values. So you were going through this disability, you were studying. So what did you study then? College?
Yeah, until like my graduation, I was just kind of just getting along, doing whatever the hell. I did commerce.
So college वगैरह में, obviously this is when you have just boys college or
मैं तो
girls?
गया भी नहीं. I didn't even go to college much. I spent most of the time getting surgeries for my leg.
Oh, okay.
And so I was home for like 2 out of the 3 years of my graduation. I was just at home and didn't really learn anything in college. But then I went to do my MBA. I went to like one of the best business schools in India, Indian Institute of Management.
Okay.
That was a really good time. 2 years there, I really learned a lot of stuff, grew into
lots of stuff. Okay.
Lots of stuff.
वहाँ पे डांस करो, all is well. 3 Idiots if you haven't seen it. अच्छा तो कॉलेज गए, थोड़ा सा पर्सनालिटी में फ़र्क आया,
बस.
and then वो क्या था, वो विदेशी महिला से फिर गोवा गए उसके बाद. and then Goa, gone.
Goa, gone, exactly.
No, that's
And then
very-
ended up in Luxembourg.
Do you go back often to India?
Uh, every 3 or 4 years, kind of, not
Okay.
so much. But
Okay.
because my family is all over the world, so
Okay.
don't go much. But every time I go back, it's really good. India has changed completely. Every 2 or 3 years that I go back, it looks nothing like what it was before. Like changing all the time.
Hmm.
Just so many more people, so much more traffic, so many more restaurants,
So many more shopping malls,
shopping malls. Like I grew up on the beach in Vishakhapatnam.
Okay.
Everything used to be just like pristine beaches. When I was a
Mm.
kid, we had golden white sand, brilliant stuff. And like when I was already in college, it was like shit.
Mm.
And now it's even worse if it's possible.
Mm.
There's not like it's just so crowded, so much traffic. Like we used to walk along the beach road. Now the beach road is just full of restaurant, shopping mall, restaurant, shopping mall.
बहुत सारी materialistic चीजें आ गई हैं, like we do miss, and I don't know how when our kids growing up, they're gonna see what we've seen, so we had a good we had a good time.
Nobody's gonna see what we saw.
Yeah.
How was it? Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in a small island called Bahrain in the Middle East. So
Okay.
oh, इतना क्या था?
Bahrain किधर है? मैं सोच रहा था. I was like.
Bahrain
trying to
is
figure it out.
a tiny island between Saudi Arabia and Qatar.
Okay.
So yeah, it's basically the Luxembourg of the Middle East, because बहुत कम लोगों ने सुना है उसके बारे में. It's probably smaller than so my granddad in the 50s went to Bahrain from Pakistan. He was in Pakistani army just to do some training. 50s में Bahrain used to be like a गांव, like a village, like most of these Bedouin countries were, because what the oil was explored but not as much. But my dad formally went to Bahrain in the 70s, so I've got loads of uncles, aunties,
Okay.
Upap, everybody's there. So I was born in Pakistan, thank God, Holy Land, but I grew up, जब मैंने आँख खोली से I was in Bahrain. And
Is that the meaning of Pakistan? Holy Land?
नहीं नहीं ऐसे ही.
Yeah, yeah.
Pakistan, yeah, it's like Pakistan,
Paki is
the
like-
Saf, like the pure, the land of the pure.
Pure.
That's what Pakistan means. So I am Pakistani from Bahrain. So I learned everything in Bahrain apart from Arabic. So Bahrain is very multicultural. Even the Arabs, speak Hindi. Bhaiya, kidhar jayega? Kya mangta tumko? Kya karega? So that's where I was, and so I stayed there. My family still lives there. My
Okay.
parents, my brother, my sister, everybody's there. My uncles.
Okay.
So for me, जब मुझे back home जाना होता है, it's actually not Pakistan, it's actually Bahrain. Yeah, so that I've got that connection.
Let's
and-
do a show in Bahrain together.
Yeah, inshallah. If we don't get cancelled after this podcast, then maybe there's an opportunity. But हाँ, थोड़ा लंबा चौड़ा paperwork करना पड़ेगा.
Yeah.
We should do a
Same
Middle East. Well, I'm guessing it's like same as everywhere. So Bahrain, they got this little Khaliji Gulf where you have your Qatar, Kuwait, Oman,
Okay.
Bahrain, UAE, Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
So those 6 countries in there. So we could do a little. So half an hour here, half an hour there.
I just heard like one of those countries, Oman or something, probably just cancelled all future comedy shows because Russell Peters was there and he was saying some kind of lots and lots of stuff that he says usually on shows, and they said no more comedy here or something.
It's probably possible. Yeah,
Yeah?
probably possible.
Okay.
I think one of the countries, I don't know, they owed money to Russell Peters as well. Russell Peters का हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ होता है.
Yeah, it's good. Fun.
Yeah.
That's how comedy is supposed
Yeah.
to be, No, I wanted to ask you because you grew up in this like Islamic
Arab culture.
Arab culture. One thing I've noticed is, and I don't know if this is true, it seems like the Islamic culture, Muslims, they seem to be more prone to giving and donating.
Yeah.
Is this a?
I think it's true, but I felt that the Muslims I've come across in the UK especially, I mean I'm sure in Pakistan, but जो मुझे UK में मैंने देखे हैं, people from I see more South Indian Muslims, Pakistani, because I think obviously charity, we call it zakat, is big part of our faith, and it's there in the Quran and the Hadith. The more you give, the more you're gonna come back, and I've seen that happening for me.
Oh, then it makes complete sense. Of course.
कि आप and giving का ये मतलब नहीं है कि you're just giving money. It's also giving your time.
Oh, yeah,
as an
absolutely.
artist. Like I recently lost my voice when I was doing a show. So I was in Palestine House, London, and I was like, I might have lost my voice. Dialogue बाजी है थोड़ी सी, but I'm trying to give the voice to the voiceless.
Ooh,
वो deep बात कर दी.
Bollywood style.
तो So yeah, so but when I started working in the charity sector, when I was there, and I could see that people are so passionate about it, and
Yeah.
I'm just like a small fraction. There are other events, where they raise millions in one night.
Well, let's talk about this then, because in the last 2 days we've raised quite a bit of money,
Yeah,
and I was introduced to Islamic Help.
yeah,
I didn't know about them before coming here,
yeah. And
and
Islamic Help is an amazing charity. They've been going around for a few years, no, quite a few years, and they have this project, this beautiful project, which you've probably seen the clips as well, where they send surgeons into Gaza, which is extremely difficult and so much, in need.
it's
आपने-
crazy because I found out that they are actually sending surgeons who go into a war-torn area,
With
and there are
medical
people who've
supply.
been going for 30 years.
Yeah, yeah,
There are doctors. He mentioned the names. I forget the names.
yeah.
They've been going there for like 30 years, helping out people in the hospitals, people who need new limbs, prosthetics, and stuff. And it's so weird and so sad that people have to, like people like you and me, and people who come to the shows have to donate money so that we can send doctors
Yeah,
to those places.
True.
The governments of the world should be doing this shit.
yeah.
And people have to donate money, like you and me, and people at the audience. Like, it's crazy. But what was amazing is people have been asking me a lot of times, like for the last 1.5 years or 2 years, how can we help? Where can we donate money to? And this looked like a good.
It's a good
place to
project.
do
See,
it.
I think the thing is everybody's doing their bit. There are charities, for example, like Forgotten Woman, who I was working with.
Yeah.
They believe in aid from women to women.
Mm.
असल में क्या होता है कि a lot of these war-torn countries, be it Palestine, be the situation in Sudan, everybody knows.
Yeah.
And sorry, क्या होता है कि it's usually men. अगर आप देखें food को aid truck आया है, it's men running after it. Women and children don't get to it. Like a big man will just get it and sab uska. So Forgotten Woman is working on a project where the aid is only given to women by women,
Mhm.
because a lot of these women, especially in the Muslim world, they're not very comfortable, dealing with men.
Of course.
So for that reason, so when I got connected with them as well, I've been working with them for the last 3 years. So it was amazing to see. They're also in other countries. They got projects in Bangladesh, in Afghanistan. Where they're not just giving people money and forgetting about it,
Yeah.
helping these women set up businesses. So they were doing aid for women by women, and it was just amazing to see. Some people are sending medics into Palestine.
Yeah.
These people are doing aid for women by women,
Yeah.
food. I'm working with Palestine House London, who have their own makeshift hospital called Al Karama. So everybody is trying to do their bit.
Yeah.
So yes, the Zionists, yes, Israel's trying. It's a bit unfortunate, but it's very difficult without them intervening and trying to stop people.
Yeah.
But still, people are trying to do their bit just to keep these people alive, just for them to survive as much as they can, and they will survive. And this is the hope we have.
Yeah. Well, I think if anybody's looking for places where they can donate, find Islamic Help,
Yeah.
and you can go and donate money to them. All of it is going directly to surgeons and doctors who go to Gaza, to Palestine, and help out people there. So yeah, thanks for introducing me to
No,
them.
no, bro, it's
so this has
fine,
been amazing.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you something from a comedy perspective. We've been doing like
Yeah.
these shows, and you've been doing so many of them, and it's a little bit of a difficult situation where you're doing jokes for the first half, and in the middle of the show we have a presentation
Yeah.
about these surgeons for Gaza, and then you have to get back into the joking mood after that. Do you find it challenging?
It was a bit challenging initially. To be honest, at my shows, I have this strict conversation. Although as important it is for a charity to fundraise, that time of them speaking can be between sort of 15, maybe 20 minutes max. I think that's probably the limit people have, because a lot of people do come. Bro, I'm here for a laugh.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear ke kya ho raha hai. Some
Yeah,
people
yeah.
are like, you know what, yes. But a lot of people are like, you know what, we came to a comedy show. We had top class comedy. I try my best to get the best people out there.
Oh yeah.
We had sometimes good food and drinks. Yesterday we had biryani, we had chaat, we had samosas at the comedy show. I could see you watching others, but like, wait for it. And then it took 15 minutes and we were able to transform so many lives in those little 15 minutes presentation, then why not? And you're right, it is a bit tough. लेकिन क्या होता है कि usually just after the charity we give them a 15-20 minute break so people to relax and come back.
Yeah.
And because of my experience as the MC, as a host, you know, you saw that yesterday as well, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, एक होता है कि you know your crowd and you know the experience. So you're able to somehow win them over. And my job is to get them then ready for the next comedian. We have a show tonight, by the way. मुझे already... Today we are in Leicester, also called Leicester by the Freshies.
Leicester is a bloody weird name, yeah. 'Cause
Le-
it's very close to molester. I'll do that tonight.
Well, at the end of the day, you know, as they say, ke, in our thousand, in our millions, we might be Pakistanis or Indians, but today we are Palestinians. Deep, yeah.
Wow. I think at this point we have to add like some music. Dang, dang. But we have weird names here. All the shows we're doing are in like weird places.
Yeah.
Like last night was in a place called Tooting.
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 Toot, toot, toot.
Who comes up with a name like the Tooting?
Yeah, and it's you know what? English people or in London we call it tooting.
Doing.
The word tooting. You know, like it's a water.
Oh,
You know, water. Yeah. So many सीख लिया था हम. Although I'm a freshie, but yeah. Can I get some water? Yeah, I want to get some water in tooting.
yeah.
So but because Indian Pakistan, we have to pronounce our tars right. That tooting.
Tooting.
You come to tooting. So we have a tooting.
Well, why you have letters in there? You should pronounce
So
them.
okay, I'm gonna spell a place in London. We have a show on Sunday. Just tell me how क्या pronunciation. SLOUGH.
Oh, slow, slough,
Slough.
slough.
मतलब you could have just done SLAW slough, लेकिन SLOUGH slough. So for the next 2 minutes, we're gonna speak in pure Hindi.
I'm not
You know.
sure I got it, but yes, let's try.
खाने में क्या पसंद है आपको?
वो खाना पसंद है जिसमें अच्छा टेस्ट हो.
उफ क्या बात कर दी आपने. सुभान अल्लाह, माशाल्लाह. अच्छा संदीप भाई.
जैसे इंडियन, पाकिस्तानी, मिडिल ईस्टर्न फूड.
नहीं संदीप भाई, I'm gonna come to something इंग्लिश नहीं sorry.
इंग्लिश नहीं, हिंदी में.
तो हुआ ये कि हमारा विशाखापट्टनम का लौंडा जब जाता है लग्जमबर्ग और पोलिश वाइफ होती है, तो ना वो एक एक्सपेक्टेशन होती है कि घर पे तो आपको इडली सांभर डोसा मिल रहा था. अब वहाँ अब आप नए मुल्क में चले गए, वहाँ पे आई एम श्योर 20-25 साल पहले वैसे ही इतने हमारे रेस्टोरेंट बहुत कम होते होंगे. तो खाने का जुगाड़ कहाँ से किया कि अंडा वंडा बस ब्रेड खा के जिए, वो बताओ.
ये सबसे बड़ा शौक होता है कि आप इंडिया से या पाकिस्तान से आओ यूरोप में, तो लोग बोलते हैं यार तो आप तो डेवलप्ड कंट्री में चले गए. मेरे को तो इतना शौक लगा था कि यहाँ पे आके सब कुछ खुद करना पड़ा. चाय बनाओ, चाय मिलेगी कहीं पे, नहीं बनाओ खुद. मैं खुद चाय बनाओ, खाना कहाँ में मिलेगा, बनाओ खाना खुद.
असल में ये हमारे पेरेंट्स का गुजरा हमें बिगाड़ दिया बचपन में.
और क्या?
हमने ना मैंने कभी अपने कपड़े इस्त्री किए थे, ना कभी बर्तन धोए थे. तो वो फिर आप हार्डवे आपको
यहाँ पे पहुंचो, अरे बर्तन भी मैं ही धोऊंगा, खाना भी मैं ही बनाऊंगा.
मेरा पॉइंट है कि देखो यूके में हम थोड़े से फिर भी लकी हैं कि यहाँ पे आपको देसी खाना हर प्राइस लेवल मिल जाता. वहाँ पे कैसे सरवाइव किया?
वहाँ पे तो बिल्कुल नहीं मिला था. पहले 1 साल तो इतना प्रॉब्लम हुआ था वहाँ पे कि साउथ इंडियन खाना वॉज नॉन एग्जिस्टेंट, नहीं था बिल्कुल भी. पूरे लक्समबर्ग, जर्मनी अराउंड द क्लोजेस्ट प्लेस, सबसे नज़दीकी जगह जहाँ
ट्रांसलेट क्लोजेस्ट प्लेस.
मैं आई ग्रो अप स्पीकिंग तेलुगु, हिंदी, इंग्लिश. ठीक है, अभी तो हिंदी.
हाँ नहीं अभी करेगा. अच्छा
सबसे पास में जहाँ पे इंडियन खाना साउथ इंडियन खाना मिल सकता था, डोसा, वॉज इन पेरिस. 4.5 घंटे का रास्ता था कार से.
गए आप?
मैं गया
डोसा खाने.
तो मैंने सोचा अरे इफ आई एम देयर एक दिन
मिनट मुझे यहाँ पे कि लोग ना इंडिया पाकिस्तान में इमेजिन करते हैं कि पेरिस रोमांटिक सिटी जहाँ पे आप अपने प्यार मोहब्बत बीवी गर्लफ्रेंड हलाल हराम उसके साथ जाके आप फ्लावर्स लेके एंजॉय कर रहे हो, रात को मिडनाइट वो लाइटें ऑन होती हैं.
बकवास है.
और आप वहाँ पे लुंगी पहन के डोसा
खाने गया था मैं. तो मैं गया वहाँ पे, मैंने बोला अरे आई एम गोइंग टू गो देयर इन द मॉर्निंग, रात को वापस आऊँगा. कितने घंटे हैं वहाँ पे? मैंने 14 घंटे रहूँगा. 14 घंटे में कितनी बार खा सकता हूँ मैं वहाँ पे साउथ इंडियन खाना? क्योंकि मेरे को अगले साल 1 साल तक नहीं मिलेगा वो खाना।
वाह।
तो मैंने ब्रेकफास्ट खाया, लंच खाया, डिनर, फिर 4 घंटे वापस।
तो वो हमारी उर्दू में कहते हैं कि ज़रूरत इजाद की माँ है।
नेसेसिटी इज द मदर ऑफ इन्वेंशन।
हाँ, अच्छा, ये हमने कॉपी किया कि आपने कॉपी?
क्या
आई थिंक
पता।
इंग्लिश का होगा ऐसा।
हाँ।
लेकिन अच्छा, नेसेसरी इज अ क्या था, सॉरी।
नेसेसिटी इज द मदर ऑफ इन्वेंशन।
हाँ ठीक है, नेसेसिटी इज अ मदर ऑफ, ठीक है। तो कितना अच्छा लगता है। लेकिन उर्दू में ज़रूरत इजाद की माँ है।
तेरी।
अच्छा, तो वो तो हो गया, ठीक है। डोसा वोसा तो नहीं मिला ना। कुकिंग में कुछ इंटरेस्ट आया बाद में?
हाँ, मेरे को 4 साल लगे।
हम्म।
उसके बाद में 4-5 साल में व्हेन वी पहला बच्चा होने वाला था हमारा, तो आई हैड टू स्टार्ट टू लर्न टू कुक।
अच्छा,
और मेरे को फिर अब नाउ अभी मैं काफ़ी अच्छा खाना
कैन
बनाता
यू
हूँ।
नेम 3 थिंग्स यू कैन मेक गुड? मतलब 3 चीज़ें आप जो अच्छी बना सकते हैं।
आई कैन मेक एवरीथिंग गुड, सुपर। जैसे यूरोपियन खाना है,
यूरोपियन खाना कौन खाता है वो खाना?
पिज्ज़ा। पिज़्ज़ा मैं एकदम खतरनाक बनाता हूँ। वो फिर
यानी कि
इंडियन।
सुपरमार्केट से लाके ओवन में डालते हो?
नहीं नहीं, सब
मतलब क्या,
scratch।
मतलब आटे से वो?
हाँ, आटे से सब कुछ, जैसे
क्या
नान बनाते
बात।
हो। हाँ।
यार इनके हाथ का मैंने कभी सोचा नहीं, इनके हाथ का पिज्ज़ा खाना। ए अच्छा, आगे फिर?
और इंडियन खाना तो मैं सब बना लेता हूँ।
अच्छा,
और डोसा वोसा सब, चावल बिरयानी ऐसी नहीं जैसे यहाँ
तो
पे मिलती है।
आप आजकल सिंगल हैं?
नहीं, आजकल मैं सेमी सिंगल हूँ, अभी सेपरेटेड हूँ अपनी वाइफ से। तो हाँ।
नहीं, वो नॉर्मली क्या होता है कि वो बंदा खाना बना रहा है, अच्छा है।
हाँ।
तो यू नो लेडीज
कल मैंने
लव।
सुना आपका जो कर रहे थे आप लोग स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी में, कह रहे हैं सिंगल है, खाना भी बनाना आता है।
हाँ हाँ हाँ, वो इट्स अ बिग थिंग। अगर
It's a
आदमी
big
खाना
thing।
बनाता हो तो इसे ही इज अ ग्रीन फ्लैग।
नहीं, अभी तो सिर्फ बच्चों के लिए बनाता हूँ। तो बहुत जो पसंद है उनको मैं सीख लेता हूँ और बना लेता हूँ।
गाइस, अगर संदीप आपके शहर में कभी आके परफॉर्म करें तो प्लीज़ इनको आप अच्छे खाने के लिए इनवाइट करें, ठीक है। मेक श्योर कि आप सब गवर्नमेंट क्लियरेंस हो आपकी। और अगर आपके घर पे इंग्रेडिएंट्स हैं और संदीप का मूड हुआ, इज़ नॉट टू टायर्ड, तो ये भी आके खाना बना सकते हैं।
और आप क्या बनाते हो?
मैं बस बेवकूफ़ बनाता हूँ लोगों को। मैं आई कैन
द रियल पाकिस्तानी।
द ओनली करी आई कैन मेक इज़ चिकन करी। और वो एक ही है वो। आई हैव नेवर मेड राइस। माई वाइफ लकीली यू नो शी इज़ अ वेरी गुड कुक।
अच्छा।
तो शी इज़ फ्रॉम हेयर, बल्कि क्रोएडन से ही हैं वो।
हम्म।
शी इज़ ओबियसली पाकिस्तानी ब्रिटिश। तो तो आई थिंक जब हम लोग डेटिंग वेटिंग कर रहे थे तो तब एक दफ़ा मुझे घर पे बुलाया। तो मैं इनके घर पे गया तो घर पे तो यू नो एडवांस फैमिली थी, हम कहते हैं एडवांस फैमिली, क्योंकि नॉर्मली वगैरह बॉयफ्रेंड को घर पे नहीं बुलाते ना। तो घर पे बुलाया तो मैं गया हूँ तो घर पे ना वो कहते हैं ना वो पूरा डाइनिंग टेबल सजा हुआ है कि चिकन टिक्का बिरयानी ये वो केबाब। तो आंटी थी माई मदर इन लॉ एंड यू नो, तो मुझे लगा आंटी ने बुलाया हो। तो जब मैंने सब खा लिया तो पता चला कि आई थिंक शी मस्ट बीन 19 दैट टाइम। तो ये 19 यहाँ की हमें वो क्या पढ़ाया जाता है कि वो ब्रिटिश लड़कियाँ होती हैं, आई कांट कुक, आई कांट यू नो लाइक थोड़ा यहाँ की लड़कियाँ वो कुक नहीं करती, दे डोंट नो। सो आई डिडंट नो कि शी हैड एन इंटरेस्ट ऑफ कुकिंग व्हेन शी वाज लाइक 12 साल की थी, यू नो, बिकॉज हर मम वाजंट वेल। तो उसको बचपन से वो यू नो एक संभालने का और वो यू नो था। तो मेरे तो दिल में ना अरे ये क्या हुआ, वो नहीं। तो मैं बिकॉज यू नो एक होता है ना, आई एम अ गाय हू लाइक्स फूड। तो यू नो इट वाज वन ऑफ द रीजन मैंने कहा नहीं मुझे यही चाहिए, यू नो लाइक या सो
लकी।
ये। हाँ, लकी आई हैव बीन वेरी लकी। कुछ लोग होते हैं कि लाइक यू नो लाइक आई हैव हैड लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स इजी इन लाइफ। अगर आप उसको माँ की दुआएं बोल लो, यू नो माई मम शी इज़ माई मदर इज़ वेरी सपोर्टिव, यू नो। तो ये जो मेरे अंदर ह्यूमर है, बचपन में लाइक मुझे इतनी मार पड़ी, इतने जूते पड़े, बेल्ट वो नहीं, कल वो पूछ रहा था वेपन्स कौन से, बेल्ट ले लो, पाइप ले लो। एक दफ़ा मेरे पापा को ना हंटर मिल गया, वो
With?
गाड़ी में से हंटर, वो भी तकरीबन मुझे पड़ गया। तो तो कभी कुछ मैंने ऐसे लाइफ में नहीं किया था ग्रोइंग अप जिससे पेरेंट्स खुश हो सकें या यू नो थोड़े से प्राउड हो सकें। आई थिंक दे सेमी वॉट प्राउड यू नो नाउ, बट इट वॉज वेरी डिफिकल्ट। तो मेरा लाइक आई वॉज द ओल्डर चाइल्ड एज वेल। तो जो ओल्डर बच्चे होते हैं दे सेट एग्जाम्पल, बट आई वॉज सबसे वर्स्ट स्टूडेंट, सबसे हर चीज़ मैं ही था। बाकी सारे मेरे आई हैव 3 अदर्स, वो सब लाइक कोई अकाउंटेंट है, कोई कुछ है। सो इट वॉज वेरी हार्ड फॉर मी। लेकिन वही होता है ना कि टाइम के साथ यू नो आई लेफ्ट एट द राइट टाइम मे बी, एंड आई वॉज एबल टू कम टू यूरोप एंड एक्सप्लोर थिंग्स फॉर माई सेल्फ एंड यू नो एंड सो या कुछ हो गया।
मेरी वाली तो गोरी थी। तो उसको खाना बनाना आता नहीं था बिल्कुल भी.
कोई नहीं, तो आपने खाया उनके वो जो होते हैं वो पोलिश?
हाँ, उनके हिसाब से तो उनको आता है खाना बनाना, लेकिन
उसको
वो
खाना नहीं कहते.
उसको खाना नहीं कहते. खाने के खाने के बाद भी ऐसा लगता है कि अभी तक कुछ खाया नहीं है यार. तो मुझे थोड़ी मुश्किल चाहिए थी अपनी लाइफ में, तो मैंने
I like problems.
I like problems always.
अच्छा, we're gonna end with this.
Yes.
तो आगे क्या plans हैं? What's the, such a cliche. आगे क्या plans हैं?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Where do you see yourself?
आगे कुछ प्लान नहीं है अभी. There are so many things that are changing. I can only plan 2 months in advance.
Yeah.
So everything is moving right now. So I don't know what's going to happen. I hope I can keep doing comedy for the rest of my life, and anything related to meaningful comedy.
Yeah, meaningful.
I think this is what I'm finding right now, that I can do what I like to do, which is comedy,
Yeah.
but I can also do it for a good reason, for a
Yeah.
good purpose, something
Yeah.
that makes sense. Even all my stories, they always have some hidden meaning
True,
in them.
True.
And if I can do this for the rest of my life,
Yeah, why not? I think
This is
it's like you said, you were in banking and everything, but I think making somebody else's day better is quite a feeling, like when I'm sure you get that, and maybe messages are thinking, I've actually met people after the shows, I was feeling very down and I came to your show, and I'm a different person now,
every time at my shows, this is what, like, sometimes I think, what am I doing,
Yeah.
And then people come to my shows and they're like, I haven't smiled in a month.
Yeah.
And then I saw your video or I came to your show and it's made such a big difference. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Because a lot of
This is
people
why
are
we
going
do this.
through a lot of tough time. हमें लगता है कि because we don't know कि लोगों को क्या चल रहा है दिमाग में, what people are going through. So I think it's very nice कि us as artists are able to make a difference to people's life. Okay, and lastly, I'm sure there are a lot of people like yourself, like myself, artists or comedians who are thinking, maybe to put videos on social media. They're not sure how are people going to respond, and or maybe thinking about stand-up in general. So what would you like to say to people who are just thinking to get into stand-up or making hard-hitting videos online maybe?
I think if you're doing it from if you're coming from a good place, honest truth is what is appreciated by everybody in the world right now.
True.
Something that is just, you're not making up some like a character and stuff like that, which is great for comedy. But if you're coming from a good place, honest, talking to people, you never know who you're going to be making a difference to. Because I didn't know. I was like, hey, I don't know who is watching my videos ever. I went to the Maldives. And
Maldives, wow.
Everybody in Maldives knows me, which is crazy. I never would have expected that. I land at the airport in Maldives and the pilot is like, Salam alaikum, I watch all your videos.
क्या बात है यार.
And people who are doing the immigration check.
So, यार कोई holiday package हुआ तो थोड़ा.
हाँ, पक्का. People
Boys holiday पे जाएंगे.
Immigration में सब जानते हैं मेरे को.
You did a show there? Or?
हाँ, I did a show there, yeah.
Bro,
I was the first.
Did you find the bird? Dudu bird? वो कहता
I think I was the first and only international comedian to do a show in Maldives.
No way.
And I didn't even organize it. They organized it.
Wow.
That's brilliant.
साथ मसाज हो रहा था बाद में शो के बाद.
नहीं, वहाँ पे सब, everybody is Muslim.
Yeah, I recently found out.
And all the people who came to the show, half men, half women, all the women fully covered.
Mashallah.
So you can't even tell if anybody is laughing.
So you can go there and be naked on the beach, but everybody else is like, beta paise deke jana.
No, all the women are, you can just see them shaking their heads.
Yeah.
You don't know if they're laughing.
Ladies are the best audience, big up all the sisters and mothers out there.
Yeah.
But men are enjoying it, but their way of expression is very different.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to end with this. Is like, you don't know whose life you're going to be making a difference to, who you're touching, who's watching your video somewhere.
Yeah.
You'll find out. We start doing it, there's nothing to lose, and you'll feel great about yourself. So.
Well, on that note, Sandeep, thank you. We have a show tonight in Leicester. I don't know when this video is going to go out. So it's been a pleasure, and this was a bit last minute. So those who don't know, we only planned this last night, and thanks for taking our booking.
And
brother.
yeah, we don't know how to do podcasts, and this is our
Yeah, I thought you'll be like in front of me, but this is nice. This is a bit more chilled out. It's a bit relaxed.
yeah.
So I'm gonna
Pretty
have
good.
some pani shani and get some chai and get going.
Yeah.
But stay safe, guys. Look after yourself, whoever's watching this, and more than anything else, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.